Okay, so you keep hearing all this buzz about OpenAI's Project Strawberry, and you want to know what's really going on.
Right.
What is it all about? Is it really groundbreaking, like people are saying? Well, I think you've come to the right place for that because we took a deep dive into an essay by Jörg-Owe,
Yeah.
straight from the source at Stanford University, so you don't have to.
Yeah, Schneppat's essay does a great job of kind of laying out just how ambitious OpenAI is being here.
Yeah.
They're aiming for something way beyond what we see with current AI, even stuff like ChatGPT, which is impressive, but they're going for AGI.
Okay, AGI. So that sounds super sci-fi to me. What does that actually mean in practical terms?
Yeah, so imagine AI that doesn't just do specific tasks, but can actually learn and solve problems across all kinds of different areas, much like a human can.
Wow.
We're talking about AI that can reason, adapt, and even be creative. Think of it as a 5-tier framework for understanding AI development with AGI at the very top.
Okay.
Strawberry sits at level 2, focusing on building these sophisticated reasoners.
Reasoners. So that's a word that needs some unpacking. What are they exactly?
Yeah, so you can think of reasoners as kind of like specialized AI modules. Each one is built to tackle a certain type of problem. So one reasoner might be focused on planning really complex tasks like a multi-stop trip. Another one might be designed to analyze medical data and help with diagnoses.
So it's not like just one giant AI brain that does everything. It's more like a team of specialized AI working together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a key part of OpenAI's approach with Strawberry. They're building a system that can break down these massive, complex problems into smaller, more manageable chunks, much like a team of human experts would collaborate on a project.
Okay, that makes sense. But this all sounds incredibly complex.
Yeah.
What are some of the concrete features that OpenAI is actually working on with Strawberry?
Yeah, well, one of the big ones is multimodal capability. This means that Strawberry can understand and process information not just from text, but from images, videos, and audio.
So instead of just reading a research paper, Strawberry could watch a documentary, listen to a podcast, and even look at pictures to get a more complete understanding of a topic.
Exactly. Imagine the possibilities for education research, even just like brainstorming for creative projects.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a designer working on a new product. You could tell Strawberry your vision, you could sketch out some rough ideas, you could even hum a tune that captures the mood you're going for, and Strawberry can take all of that and generate a 3D model, a marketing campaign, maybe even a soundtrack, all based on your multimodal input.
Wow, that's incredible. It's almost like having an AI partner that can really collaborate with you on creative projects.
Exactly. And another crucial part of this is contextual awareness.
Yeah.
Think about how frustrating it is when you're talking to like a chatbot
Oh, yeah.
and it seems to forget what you just said.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's like starting the conversation over every other sentence.
Right. Well, Strawberry is designed to remember past interactions and maintain a coherent understanding of how the conversation is flowing. This means you can have a back and forth about a complex topic, and Strawberry will be able to follow your line of reasoning, refer back to things you said earlier, and even anticipate what you might say next.
Okay, so that would be a game changer for so many things. Customer service education, maybe even therapy. But what about keeping up with this crazy, fast-paced world of information we live in?
Right. Well, that's where real-time information access comes in.
Yeah.
Strawberry can tap into live news feeds, data streams, all these sources of constantly updating information.
Wow.
Imagine having a research assistant that can instantly pull up the latest studies, financial reports, even social media trends, all relevant to your work or interests.
So instead of spending hours and hours digging for the most up-to-date information, you can have Strawberry curate a personalized feed of everything you need to know.
Exactly. This real-time capability opens up so many possibilities for staying informed, making smart decisions, and even predicting future trends.
It sounds like Strawberry could be the ultimate personal assistant, handling everything from research and scheduling to creative brainstorming, and even giving you the latest breaking news.
It's definitely a hugely ambitious project, and Schneppat's essay does a great job of capturing all the excitement surrounding it. But he also brings up some of the potential challenges that come with building AI this powerful. And we'll talk about those in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, so stay tuned.
Picking up where we left off, one of the challenges that Schneppat points out is just the sheer complexity of what Project Strawberry is supposed to be able to do.
Okay.
It's not just about like simple question and answer stuff. We're talking about what are called long horizon tasks.
Long horizon tasks. Okay, that sounds kind of ominous. What does that actually mean?
Well, think about problems that take a bunch of steps, careful planning, and being able to change course when you get new information along the way.
Okay.
Like, imagine asking Strawberry to plan a whole trip to Europe, taking into account your budget, what you're interested in the best time to visit each city, and even like real-time things like weather and traffic.
Yeah.
That's a long horizon task, and it's something that traditional AI has had a lot of trouble with.
So it's not just booking flights and hotels. It's understanding all the little details of this big, complicated problem and coming up with a plan that can change as things change.
Exactly, and that's where Strawberry's potential is really exciting. Imagine AI that can help doctors diagnose really complicated medical conditions, looking at the patient's history, their symptoms, the latest research, and being able to explain its reasoning to the doctor and the patient. Or think about business leaders using AI to model different scenarios, predict market trends, and make these big decisions based on tons of complicated data.
Okay, so these are some pretty serious applications. It makes you realize that building this kind of AI isn't just a technical challenge, it's a societal one too.
That's exactly what Schnephat's getting at in his essay. He says that as AI gets more and more sophisticated, the potential for both good and bad outcomes gets way bigger.
Right.
We need to be thinking about the impact this technology will have on society right from the start.
So it's not just about making cool technology. It's about figuring out how that technology will actually be used and what it might mean for our lives.
Exactly. It's about building AI that lines up with human values, is fair, and benefits everyone.
That makes sense, but how do we actually build ethical AI? Is there some kind of rule book we can follow?
I wish it were that simple.
Yeah.
Building ethical AI is really complicated. It's a constant process, and there's so many things to consider. One really important thing is making sure the teams who are developing AI are diverse.
Okay.
People with different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives can help spot potential biases and ethical issues that might get missed otherwise.
It's kind of like how a diverse team of engineers would design a safer bridge, because they're thinking about all the different angles and potential weaknesses.
Exactly. Another crucial part is transparency. We need to understand how these AI systems work, what data they're trained on, and how they make decisions.
Yeah.
If we don't have that transparency, we can't trust AI or hold it accountable for what it does.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people who create it and the processes they use.
Absolutely. And it's also about us talking as a society about what role we want AI to play in our lives. Do we want AI to make decisions for us or to help us make better decisions? What are the limits of AI? Where do we draw the line between human intelligence and artificial intelligence? These are big questions we need to be discussing.
It sounds like we're just getting started with figuring all of this out.
We are. But the good news is that those conversations are starting to happen. Schnephat's essay doesn't have all the answers, but it does a great job of highlighting the most important questions we should be asking ourselves as we enter this new age of AI.
You know, one of the things that really stood out to me in Schnephat's essay was how much he emphasized global cooperation. Why is that so important when it comes to AI?
AI is a global technology. The decisions we make about how to develop it and use it will affect the whole world.
Right.
We need to be working together, sharing what we know, and creating international standards so that AI benefits all of humanity, not just a few people.
It's not like AI is going to stay in one country or with one company.
Exactly. We're all in this together, so we need to work together to shape the future of AI in a way that's both good and responsible.
So getting back to Project Strawberry specifically, OpenAI has been pretty open about sharing what they're doing, releasing preview models, and getting feedback from people.
Yeah, and that's really encouraging. By being transparent about their work and getting input from a wider community, OpenAI is showing a commitment to responsible AI development.
But there have also been some concerns, right? Even from people within OpenAI.
Yes, and it's important to talk about those. Some OpenAI employees have said they're worried about the risks that come with AI and that we need to have really strong safety measures and ethical considerations. They've even asked about what this technology could mean for jobs and whether we need retraining programs to help workers adapt as things change.
It sounds like it's a delicate balance, pushing the limits of what's possible while also being aware of the potential downsides.
It is, and there's no easy answer. It's a journey, and we're all learning as we go. But the key is to keep talking, to include different voices, and to put human values first when we're developing and using AI.
Okay, so speaking of pushing limits, I want to hear more about this computer using agent thing. Schnephat mentions it as a big part of Strawberry, but I'm not really sure what it is. Is it like a virtual assistant for the AI?
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. The computer using agent, or CUA, lets Strawberry interact with the web more like a human does.
Okay.
It can click links, scroll through pages, and even pull out information from different places.
So the AI is actually browsing the web, not just using some pre-selected database.
Exactly. It opens up a whole new level of what AI can do. It means AI can do research, gather information, and even learn from all the data that's available online.
So it's like giving the AI keys to the library instead of just handing it a few books.
Perfect analogy. And this is where multimodal learning comes in.
Uh-huh.
Strawberry isn't limited to just text. It can also understand images, videos, and audio, which means it can learn from way more sources.
So it's not just reading Wikipedia articles. It could be watching documentaries, listening to podcasts, maybe even looking at social media.
In theory, yes. And that's what makes it so exciting, but also potentially challenging. How do we make sure AI is using this information responsibly and not spreading biases or misinformation?
It's a huge question, and it feels like we're just starting to understand what's possible with Project Strawberry.
We are. It's still early days, but it's clear that this technology has the potential to change so many parts of our lives. The key is to approach it thoughtfully, collaboratively, and always with a focus on human values.
This deep dive into Schneppat's essay has been really eye-opening. But before we wrap up, there are a few more things I think we should talk about. We'll get into those in our final segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that really stuck with me from Schneppat's essay was this idea of AI actually creating its own data. What's that all about?
Yeah, he's talking about synthetic data. It's a really interesting idea. So instead of just using real-world data, which can be kind of messy or incomplete or even biased,
Right.
AI can actually create its own data to train on.
So instead of giving the AI real examples, it can basically build its own virtual training ground.
That's a great way to put it. And the cool thing about synthetic data is that it can be made to be perfectly balanced and representative, so it can kind of get around some of the problems with real-world data.
But how does that actually work? Does the AI just make stuff up?
It's not really making stuff up. It's more like taking what it learns from real data and then using that to create variations and extrapolating from there. So say you're teaching an AI to recognize different types of flowers. You could use synthetic data to create images of flowers with all kinds of little variations in color, shape, size. And that would give the AI a much bigger and more diverse set of examples to learn from, even if those exact flowers don't exist in the real world.
So it's like giving the AI a super comprehensive textbook on flowers, even if some of those flowers are totally made up.
Exactly. And that can be super useful when real-world data is hard to come by.
Schneppat's essay also talks about some of the bigger societal impacts of Project Strawberry, especially when it comes to the future of work. It's obvious that AI could automate a lot of the jobs that humans do now.
Right, and that's definitely something we need to think carefully about.
Yeah.
AI could change the job market in big ways, and we need to be ready for that. We need to focus on retraining and giving people new skills so they can adapt, and we need to make sure that everyone benefits from AI, not just a select few.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that whenever we have big technological leaps, there are always societal impacts that go along with them. It's not just about the technology, it's about how that technology is going to affect people's lives.
Absolutely. As we get deeper into the world of AI, we can't forget that technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us as a society to make sure AI is developed and used in a way that makes sense with our values and helps create a better future for everyone.
One last thing that really blew my mind from Schneppat's essay was this question he asks at the end. If AI can really think for itself and plan for the future, what does that mean for things like free will and whether our lives are predetermined? It's like something philosophers have been debating forever, and now AI is adding this whole other layer to it.
I know, right? If we're creating machines that can think and make decisions just like humans, does that mean that we're also programmed in some way? It's a question without any easy answers, but it's something we need to be thinking about as we go further into the world of AI.
It's almost like Project Strawberry is holding up a mirror to us and making us question what it means to be human.
I love that. It's not just a technological advancement, it's a journey of figuring out who we are.
Well, this deep dive into Jörg-Owe Schneppat's essay has been amazing. We've talked about a lot, from the technical details of Project Strawberry to the bigger societal and philosophical questions it brings up. It's clear that this is way more than just a story about technology. It's a story about humanity ethics and the future we're all creating together.
I completely agree. It's a future with so much potential, but also some big challenges. As we go forward, we need to keep having these conversations, include people with different views, and always put human values first.
So thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Project Strawberry. We hope you learned something and that it got you thinking. And a big shout out to Jörg-Owe Schneppat for writing such a thought-provoking essay that started this whole conversation.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning.